Hi, it's your guy Carcino here, live in the flesh, and we're here to talk about the Wu Tang Clan. Now, what people don't realize is the Wu Tang is, even though they were a group and had a label and a logo that ended up becoming bigger than they could ever imagine, the Wu Tang Clan were a bunch of individual personalities, and like bees, they could spread out and come back together. Now, with the Wu-Tang and the fact that they had such a big cultural impact before any group, Japan, London, the Wu-Tang Clan is synonymous with the logo, the chants, all of these things that people were starting to steal from them, chopping up beats and making beats like the RZA and all this stuff. People were trying to get a piece of what the Wu-Tang had. Then you start seeing all these groups come out like they were the Wu-Tang, slicing and dicing. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is not. You was talking about blasting. What's happening, y'all? All the crazy titles, the Hell's Wind Staff. It's just like all the Chinese movies, because that's the thing. People used to sit back, watch karate flicks all the time. Now, the RZA was approached and tried to make his own film called Bobby Digital off his own character, because he knew making a Wu-Tang film would have been much, much harder to do because you got all these personalities. So this one kid who grew up, who had to have been about, he said he was a kid, so I'm guessing he was about 6 or 7 years old when Wu-Tang first came out, and he was the biggest Wu-Tang fan there is. And Wu-Tang has black fans, they have Asian fans, they are worldwide. And this kid grew up and said, the Wu-Tang is one of my favorite groups. And once he became a producer of films, he was like, listen, I've got to get a Wu-Tang movie done. And at this time, he was working with Fox. And when he was working with Fox at the time, he was approaching the RZA at an event, because he had met RZA plenty of other times and ran into him, told him he's a fan, blah, 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 blah. This is like in 2007 or something, when they were working on the I believe it was American Gangster. I'm not too sure, but I'm gonna say American Gangster. But if he was working on another film, I'm sorry. So after this, people were like, he approached him, talked to him about making the movie, and the RZA was his calm. It's like, yeah. Other people they kept trying to do it. It's just hard to get everything together and everything lined up to where it all makes sense. So, yeah, if they could get something together, then, then maybe we could do it. Now, the RZA was getting parts and bit parts in a movie because of his affiliation with his buddy, Russell Crowe. He had a great agent. I guess they had the same agent. So when this thing started to get some momentum was after the Notorious film with Biggie. See, when the Notorious film was made and it was coming out, it was on Fox Searchlight. At this time, he was no longer working with Fox. He was working now with Lionsgate. So Fox Searchlight is out, and this film Notorious comes out. Everybody wants to see what it's going to do, because this is the first time like a real motion picture is being done on a hip-hop artist, and a lot of people's like, man, how did this get made before the Tupac movie? Tupac movie had too much red tape. They've tried so many times, but this is easier to do because Puffy owns everything. So it's a one-stop shop for all of it. So they were like, okay, we'll put up the budget for this. Now, originally they wanted like $30 million for the Notorious film, but they ended up settling and making budget cuts and getting it done. And Puffy went and started Bad Boy Films as the production company. And once they did it, they went and Viola Wallace Films, they went and got their production credits put in so that they could make the type of movie they wanted and put it out, and they ended up selling on $20 million, and it did double, did $44 million, and that wasn't bad. But a Biggie movie came out today, it'd have done, the budget would have been like $40 million, and would have done and brought on more closer to $100 million. The climate wasn't there for it at the time, and people really didn't understand it. It wasn't really promoted right, and the script wasn't really written correctly. They were so caught into the factuality of it that they didn't think about how to do right by the pacing. So anyway, at the premiere of this event, and the RZA and everybody's there, and then they because they talked again at another viewing for the Jackie Chan Jet Li film. But anyway, they talked to the RZA about getting the Wu Tang movie going. Now, after seeing this done, he was like, the RZA was more convinced, like, yeah, it could work. And at this time, the Wu Tang, it was just hard to get everybody together, because at one point, some of the Wu Tang members, RZA didn't have control over no more. Like, he gave them their rights, but he quite sure he can get them back in. So individually, the guy ended up going up to different people and talking to them about doing the Wu Tang movie and all this. So of course they're gonna be, hell yeah, man. Goes, man. I'm gonna tell you about the time, man. RZA got into it, man. I slapped him with the, I had to slap him one time upside his head, man. Cause I told him, man, he keep acting funny style. Everybody was excited, and Ray and Ghost, right? Cause we the stars, man, right? It's like this, right? Everything. I mean, RZA came, RZA did what he did, with the beats and all that, but with the rhymes, me and Ghost, yeah, we held it down, so, a lot of it's gonna be about me and Ghost and how we came up, right? Yeah, just for Ray's sake, man, we held it down. Mel did his thing, man, he came out the gate, but we the one was right, we carried the rock. Took the rock and carried it all the way down. We took that Wu, man, we made it bigger. So, the ego factor would have crushed this movie from the beginning. But before they could get there, they got to get everything right. So they're having talks with the RZA about doing this. And the RZA seemed to be distracted with something else. So the RZA agreed on money or whatever, this and this. This was not the problem. The problem started to ensue when the RZA started saying things like, yo, I'm going to write the script. I'm going to put the script together. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it by and I'm going to send it to your team so you can check it out. He was like, I want you to, let one of our guys, the company, they're going to want to have one of their writers go with you so that the same mistakes that we saw that happened on Notorious that me and you talked about won't be made in the Wu Tang film. Where everybody's so concerned about, is this true, putting all these true stories in here, that it's just one big montage of just true stories. But it's too long, the pacing's a mess, and it doesn't connect. We got to make sure the script connects. Some things can be just taken out of the script, or let him go with you when you write this script. I don't need nobody. He wasn't there in the streets when we was out there with a crumb in our pocket. We had like $4. You know what I'm saying? Put it all together, man. He wasn't out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to write it. Or it ain't going to be a movie. I'll write my script. And I'm going to turn it in. And they better not touch a word. So the RZA was going to write a script. This script never came. Then he sent the demand saying that Russell Crowe had to be in the movie or there was no Wu Tang movie. Who in the world was Russell Crowe going to play? So he's like, we're not even at this point yet. But everything he keeps saying, or it back channel to, or there will be no movie. Or there will be no movie. So they took it to the light as if the RZA don't want to get this movie made. He really don't want to do this movie. Or he has other thing on his mind. They were like, look, if you have other things you're working on, all you have to do is just tell us. Man, look, it's gonna, matter of fact, I don't think this is gonna work. I don't think your company understands what I'm trying to do with this film. It's bigger than what y'all think this is. Y'all think it's just some street stuff that y'all gonna make money off of in the streets. Wu Tang is bigger. Wu Tang is blah 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 blah. If you said you're a fan of Wu Tang, you don't understand that. So, with all of this going on, the RZA stepped back. Everybody stepped back. No movie being made. Now that there's no movie being made, here's the situation now. Because they didn't get that movie made, now the climate is different. Straight Outta Compton changed everything, which I knew it would be. Straight Outta Compton showed everybody in the world that they ready for these movies of the past. Now would be an excellent time to make a Wu Tang film. Because everybody and their mama trying to make films now. Well, we're going to do the sequel. Yeah, there's the Death Row story with Daz and Corrupt. They got $45 million to make Straight Outta Compton. You see what I'm saying? $45 million. They got an additional $5 million. Now, even though the movie isn't accurately correct on a lot of things, the overall picture was correct. And the way it was written was better. The story was done the way it should have been. Like a movie. And that's why people are like, that didn't happen that way, that didn't do this. But the pacing was right. It was written well. It was very well acted and played out to perfection. Now that it's done that way, your box office now, $50 million budget, you do $200 million at the gate. They're expecting Tupac movie to do $200 million in revenue. So they profited $150 million just off the back end of that movie, Straight Outta Compton. And that's just box office. That's not even DVD, cable, none of that stuff. And this was Universal Pictures. So imagine what's going to happen next. Because now studios are more willing to donate money and budget for this Tupac film and hip hop movies in general. So are you ready to see a Wu Tang film? I know I am. A Wu Tang film would probably be epic if it's done the right way. If they can get everybody aligned, I think it'll make so much sense in using the movie to get it done. But if they're expecting Tupac movie to do that much out the gate, people have to like it out the gate. It have to be very well written out the gate. Now, the studio that they got, they use maybe 3-4 different studios, and Summit's gonna distribute it. And Tupac, they want to try to put it out on his 46th birthday or whatever, but we'll see what happens. I'm quite sure that's the release date for a reason. But on the Wu Tang movie, what do you think? Should it be done? Do you want to see it? How interested are you in seeing it? Leave all that in the comment section. I'm out.